Alright, so wake up. Basically, what we are going to do in this video is make some of these really cool RC intent labels. In a future video I'm going to find a way to add labels to them like this, but these labels are actually separate. But what I mean is this thing is very editable. You can edit where the rebar goes, where it's placed, you can edit its length, and if you want more accurate length you can actually add a length in here. Oops. For that particular case it's smaller than, yeah, there you go, now you can place it. And same with the extents. So where are the extents? Well, position is not really important, but label position, well, we can do the extents in our version. So from that point to that point. In this version I haven't done that, so that's why we can't do it here, but we will in my version. Let me show you the classic way, the old-fashioned way. First, I made this old-fashioned version. Let's say you want to change the extents. You've got to move those to, oops, see, already I'm having problems. MV, these are all separate lines. So the line will move with it, not always. Select MV for move. Well, in this case it does. But now the point is, this will need to be duplicated. How do I do that? I need to copy each line. Oops, I forgot to hold control there. And then it's all a bit long. And then let's say that needs to be changed, or let's say I copy it over to the other side, and then it needs to be changed. I need to now delete these. I need to select each one again. Do these, do these, do these. When the reality is, all I would need to, well, the simple way is just to change it on this side, delete, let's say, that one on this side, and then just select this and mirror it or copy it. Much easier. You just do one selection and one copy instead of multiple selections and then a copy. It's just long. See, this way is just dead. It's literally so dead. It's a hashtag long thing, as they say. As I say, it's a dead thing. Anyway, let's go. Cool. So I'll say File, New, Detail Item. I mean family. Then I'll select Detail Item as the template. One thing you need to know is we're only going to work on one side of these reference planes, this side. You don't need to worry about the Y direction, but on the X direction you only want to work on one side, because we don't want to make a family that breaks when you go past the center point. So just pick one side and work with it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new reference plane. So select this and type CS for create similar, 1000, boom, there. And then I want a reference plane above it and below it. So we'll worry about these later, but I'm just putting them in for now. And now to put a reference line, and you select reference line here under create, but I've got a keyboard shortcut of REF. Type KS to put in your own keyboard shortcuts if you want. So reference line, if I say reference line, you can do it in the create version. I'm just going to do it this way. Now for this particular case you don't need to worry about the reference line as such, the length of it. Usually I do, but in this case we won't, because the arrows will always be at the center point. So if I move this, arrows to move those are there basically at the center point. So this is something I need to work out how to fix, but it's not that big of a deal, in my opinion, so I haven't spent too much time on it, so don't worry too much about that. I did try deleting this, but that didn't work. Anyway, first thing we need to do is place our line down. So we're going to put, that's our finished product, don't need to look at that. It looks worse than it is, trust me. This center line, yeah? So type LI for line, place it from there to there, And then I want to type RP for reference plane, put one down here, this will be the location of our line, and then type REF for reference line. I'll place one this way. So type AL for align, there to there and lock, that to that and lock. And then I want to select multiple alignment, this reference plane to that line and lock, and that one to that one and lock, there, lock, there, lock. Now that reference line, sorry, this reference plane to this reference line and lock, and then to this line and lock. Now type DI for dimension, give this one a parameter called RC extents. Make it an instance parameter as well. Boom. Now I will load into project. Just place it there. And I can do this now. Great. I'm actually going to unpin this. I think I've figured out how to do this. No, I'm not going to do that. Maybe at the end, don't worry. I might have figured out how to make the arrows move with the thing, but I'm not going to do that for now. So, next thing I need to do is put these extent lines in. So, what I want to do with that one is type LI for line. Let's change it to heavy lines. Put one down there, and one down there. So, in fact, we're going to extend it past this. Type DI for dimension, endpoint, reference plane, endpoint there, and lock. That one, that one, that one, and lock. And then we're going to measure from endpoint, to endpoint. Now we'll align it to the reference plane and lock it. And we're going to give these guys, we're going to say scale because we want to categorize these. Actually, could we create our own category? Whatever, no. So scale, so that we have everything associated to the scale with the name scale under it. First, so that they're all together alphabetically. And so it's a good explanation for anyone that uses it. So scale, extent, line, length. Great. So now by default I'm going to leave that as 150. So load into project. It's good to do this to see the final product in action as you use it. Now I'll go back to edit mode and I will create the arrowheads. One thing you need to know is these arrowheads are, you can change them to outside and you can take out the circle label. Yeah? I should have said that at the start. Let me leave my timer up here so I know what one. So I'm going to create the circles first. So I'll say file, new, family, metric, detail item, and I will make I'll make two circles. So one circle with lines, and I'll make another circle with a filled region as a filled region. But before I close the filled region, I want to make sure it's black, the filling. So edit, come to solid fill, make sure it's black. Oh no, cancel. I'll edit and duplicate because we want to make a new one that's just black. Okay, great. The color's already selected. double click that one, make the center mark visible. Okay, same with this one, center mark visible. Now type DI for dimension, diameter. We'll label this one dia. And now same here, except we've already got the label. We want them to have the same label because they're going to be in the same spot. And now this one needs a visibility parameter. What I'm doing here is I'm making two different circles within the same family. So all we have to do is tell the family I want it black or I want it white. I could change the color, adding a parameter, but I want the white one to be transparent like this, which is why we're gonna turn this one off and leave that one on. That's why this is just a line and that one's an actual filled region and this isn't a white region. So to do that, I need to come here to parameters, create a new parameter, label this one black, so when it's on we'll see the black thing. It's going to be an instance parameter, and actually before you continue it needs to be a yes no, and we'll group it in, well, we don't need to worry about the group, so yeah, you don't need to worry about the discipline either. Okay, so now that's made, but now we need to apply it to this and say visible, choose that visibility parameter, there you go. Now align that to that and lock, that one to that one and lock, both X, Y, yeah, and double click this one, type A alpha align, same thing. We need to remember, lock, if you can't see that little X, you need to make sure center mark is visible is turned on when you select the circle, and say yes. Okay, so I'm now going to load that into the project. This one's called family 5. Actually, before I do that, well, it's already loaded in now, but I like to keep a default value. We'll keep this at 50. Oh, so family 6, that's the circle. This didn't get the default value, so I'm just gonna change it. You know what? No, don't worry. We will make that one 50. You know what? No, I will do what I was going to do. I'm going to make both of these. That one's already an instance parameter. This one is also going to be an instance parameter. If you don't know what an instance parameter is, it means that if I can have two of them in the same thing, have two different, let's say, well, for this case it's the diameter, two different parameters, instead of duplicating it and creating a new type. In this case we don't need to worry about that too much, but it's just nicer to have it there, editable there. So now we need to think about the placement of this. We need to create a new reference plane, so select one, type, or just type RP for reference plane, put one from there to there. I like to keep them the same lengths. And now this is what your rebar is going to stand on. So what we'll do, in fact, I'm going to copy this one over. We'll uncheck that one to white. So we have two. Now I'll type A alpha align that to that one and lock, and now that's to that and lock. Yeah, the reference plane. And now this one will also lock to that. We'll create a new reference plane. RP. That one to that one and lock. So as I move this, that moves with it. But what I need to do is I need to give these dimensions from this point, DI. These will be separate instance parameters. So I'll call this one rebar, well, placement rebar instance. Like I said, we'll categorize it this way. Placement, call it C tag for circle tag instance. Now to make it draggable, see if I load it in, building, the existing version, no, I'm not going to save, where are we? Oh, so you don't need reference lines. Okay, cool, cool, cool. That's something I've learned there. Just as long as the dimension is an instance parameter, I'm going to close this one. That has made this video a lot shorter, so you don't need to worry about this reference plane here, by the way, or that one, or that one. I think you can use, hold on a sec. Yeah, so remove all the reference lines, leave the planes in place. We don't need them, it turns out. So now, the next thing I need to do is create a line, just type LI for line. That one to that one. AL for align, there to there and lock. There to there and lock. There to there and lock. Now type DI for dimension, there to there, call this one rebar we'll just call it RC length to make it stand out a bit from the other parameters. I'm going to order these a bit, keep the scale at the bottom, placement, length though. Length and extents will be at the top, and then the placements will be next. So now I'll load into project, overwrite the existing values, and there you go. Now, the problem is that this one moves with the top one, which is very annoying. That means we need to give this its own label. So type DI for dimension, go from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom, either one is fine. No, sorry. So what I did earlier is I created a reference plane up here. We don't want this line to associate to the center. Actually, no, we do, that's fine. Okay, so work in one quadrant. It's not a problem for you, I know it isn't, because all you've done in the other quadrant is put a reference plane down, which we don't need. And I'm going to give this one a label, call it placement label instance. Okay, load into project, overwrite existing project, and there you go. Now I can move that one as I wish, I can move the top one, bottom one, as I wish. See, you can't do that, you can't bring it all the way, you need to, or else it will break. Okay, great, now that's it. All we need to do now is toggle the visibility and work with the scales and add the arrows. So first I'm going to create new arrows, just like we did with the circles. And so to do that, I'll say file, new, family, yeah, detail item, there you go. So create this, select this, we'll type RP actually, there you go, say 100, offset, there, there, and you know what we'll do? We'll just no, we won't do that. I'll say I was gonna create a white fill, transparent one as well as a non-transparent one, but you saw how I did it with a circle. You can do that yourself. You wouldn't really have that in RC, that's why we won't do that here. So I've said filled region. I'm going to create filled region. Select this one, type A alpha align there to there, and lock, there to there, and lock. And we don't need to worry about locking the rest because this reference line is a central origin line. It won't move, so these will associate, these will stay in the same place, and only that one will move. And I need to, just like before, duplicate, create a black one, solid fill. Okay, there you go. Oh, double click it, A alpha align there to there. Okay, so before you move the reference plane, align it to this one. Yeah, remove those constraints because we don't need to worry about that. Not yet, anyway. Okay, no, we do need to worry about that. Delete this, delete this. A alpha align there to there and lock. There to there and lock. This line. Come here. Okay, so I worked out what the problem is. Type DI for dimension first. Here, 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 there, and equal them. Yeah? So, now I can align. I'll double click the region area, align this to this and lock it, and this to this and lock it. What's happening is Revit is getting confused by it being a triangle. So when you move these, it doesn't realize that these are always going to be equal. Once you tell it that, then it knows what to do with the triangle, because if you moved one off, it wouldn't know how to stretch the triangle unless it's told that both sides will stretch the same way. Okay, so now parameter, those are equal now, so I need a length and a width. So I'll call this one L, call this one W. We want it to be a long and slender arrow, so family type. What we'll do is we'll make the length twice the width, so 2 times W. Apply, and we want the default values to be, well, 100. This isn't really necessary, and it's not important, but I like doing it so that it's nice and easy once you've loaded it in. So you can save it if you like. I'm not going to. I'm not saving this. I've done this one before. Load into project, and there you go. Now DM. So I've got 2. And what I also want to do is I want to change those 2 instance parameters. You won't be able to do this one, I don't think. Oh, you can. You need to do it this way. This one first. I thought I had to do one of them first because of the calculation. Anyway, load into project. Maybe I did the right order. So now I can edit them there. Well, the width anyway. So type A alpha align to this reference plane and lock. That one to that reference plane within that and lock. Same here, lock, lock. Don't worry about the size right now. Copy these. Whoops. Uncheck multiple alignment. Remember, it's reference plane, yeah, not reference, not the line. Never the line. do that first, and then that one. Now, all of these will need to come down in size, so 50, there you go. And we'll say that the scale extent line, we'll make that one smart. Sorry, what we'll do is we'll make a width parameter. So we'll make a new one. Under scale. So I want the width here to be the same as the circle width, yeah? So select these two, give them that parameter, and all of these will have that same parameter. Now, if I change that to, let's say, 75, they all change accordingly. But I'll leave it as 50 for now. And I want the extent line to be, Control C that, and say multiply it by 2. Copy it, it won't let me. Ah. The minus sign is causing problems. Okay, now the comma's causing problems. I'll give it that name. There you go. I'll just rename this one just in case. Use underscores like this. I was trying to make it more user friendly, but yeah, doesn't always work. The minus sign counts as a minus. The dash counts as a minus sign. Now, visibility of these. I need to create 3 new visibility parameters. So, new, call it circle tag instance, yes, no, under visibility. There you go. Now, new one. I'm just gonna make all 3 inside arrows, and you'll see how they'll work. Same. I wish you could copy these. Instance. New one. Outside arrows. Instance. Visibility, keep them in the same category. There you go. Now, this one and this one, come here to visible, give them the inside arrows parameter. Circle tag, give it the circle tag parameter. And the outside ones, we'll give them the outside arrow parameter. So, load into project, family 7, okay. Oh no, sorry. Which one was that? Oh, that was this one. Load into project, make sure you pick the right one. There you go, cool. Now I can edit that, change this, change the placement, change where this goes, etc, etc. Turn off the circle tag if I want it to be like this one, where you don't need the circle tag, it just goes through the line. And I can change the outside arrows for inside arrows, and I can edit the type and change the scale. We'll call this one 150, and the extent line should change accordingly. Ooh, sorry, that was the wrong one. That's the one I made earlier. So that's the one we're working on. You can have none if you want, yeah. And the scale, yep. So scale is not an instance parameter. Cool. Now you can tag these and label these. Well, you can manually make the tags and things. And just remember, one last finishing touch. It's just nice to have things in order. So the RC length itself and the extents are the most important, so they'll go first, and then the placements, and then the scales, and the visibilities will have their own category. So yeah, last thing, let me just show you that. Overwrite existing version, yes. And there you go. You can manually put if you want an actual accurate length of RC, you can do that, and then change the tag and the extents. Let's say you want 500 meters, whatever, or you can manually do that from there to there, there to there. That's how you do it properly. And remember, this may have been a lot of work for some of you, but once you've done this once, it's reusable. You can load it into multiple projects. You don't need to make it again. And even if you want to do this project quickly, the time spent making that is about the same time as the amount of time that you'd spend editing and making mistakes, or approximately, I would estimate something. I would guesstimate that, as they say. And you're less likely to make mistakes. That's the thing. Like, that's the most frustrating thing about the job, making a mistake with all these lines and then going and finding it and fixing it, and that's just long. This just takes all of that out of there and makes it nice and simple. So please like, share and subscribe. And I currently don't have a job in lockdown, so if you have any opportunities going, slide into my DMs.